going from a skinny 6'1", 135-pound skater kid who was literally made up of just skin and bones to now I weigh 228 pounds, still lean, and yes, 100% natural. I've never had any type of PED, any type of steroid, or none of that. Alright, I want to share with you guys exactly what I did to gain 93 pounds over the course of the years that I've been working out to get me to where I am now. I want to share with you guys the main mistake I made, the number one thing I learned, and ultimately give you guys a practical step-by-step breakdown of exactly what you need to do in order to shortcut your way to your fitness goals. So back when I was 16, I was obsessed with skateboarding. It's all I ever did. I would literally just skateboard like for 6 hours a day. Besides school, that's really all I did, right? I wouldn't even eat because I just wanted to be skating all the time. And what happened was I was going through a growth spurt at the time. And I was skating so much, I was burning all these calories, and I wasn't eating enough. I basically just lost a ton of weight. I got really skinny. I'm gonna put some pictures up of what I was looking like. And so it got to the point where I was 6'1" and I was 135 pounds. I was just literally just skin and bones. And I decided, you know what, I was tired of being the skinny kid. I was tired of getting made fun of because everybody always, was calling me because I was really tall and skinny, so I would get all kinds of names. So I got tired of it. Me and my best friend actually decided we were going to start working out. My dad had brought this workout machine and had it in the backyard. So me and him just started off by watching YouTube videos and working out in the backyard, and we started working out 3 hours a day because we didn't really know what we were doing, but we were at least doing something, and started eating like 3,000 calories a day. Started force feeding myself, because I didn't really have the appetite. I wasn't used to eating like that yet. So I started force feeding myself. I started putting on some weight. I think my first year I put on like 30, something around 30 pounds. My first year, 35 pounds. And so I immediately saw my body changing. As soon as I started working out, I think within the first 4 months, I saw like real big changes to my physique, right? And so that's what you would call your newbie gains. When you first start working out, you're usually going to see very quick progress, right? That's pretty much when you're going to see it the fastest, especially if your diet habit changes as well. So I started seeing all this progress, and I got really obsessed with the gym. After my first year, I had decided, I want to be a personal trainer. I started studying, personal training. I started studying nutrition. I went and got my personal training certificate. I think by the second year I was working out, so I had a very good knowledge of what I was doing by this point. And plus, I was obsessed with watching YouTube videos about fitness. I was watching literally everything. I was spending my whole day just watching YouTube videos, and that's really what got me into doing this now, what I'm doing now, which is making the videos, because I know how fundamental it was for me coming up to have these type of videos to watch. So anyways, I start working out, I start making all this progress, and I realized around 3 years in was when I really just plateaued. And I saw so my first year I put on, I think it was like 35 pounds. My second year I put on another 20. And then every year after that, I put on 10 pounds. So when I first put on that weight, and I think after my third year of training, it just slowed down, man. Like, I just wasn't seeing progress anymore. If you look at pictures from me from my third year and like my fifth year, even though I was always consistent, I mean, I'm talking about going to the gym 6 days a week, every single week the whole year. I hardly ever missed workouts. I never went more than 3 or 4 days without working out. That'd be like the max if I ever did. I just wasn't seeing progress, and it was very frustrating, and I knew I was an ectomorph, since an ectomorph is a body type, and for ectomorphs it's very difficult for us to put on weight. You're a hard gainer, right? Like, your body you have a smaller frame, your metabolism is very fast, so you kind of burn everything up. And not to mention I'm tall, so I always kind of it always felt like it was harder for me to put on real size and look bigger. So after my third year, it slowed down immensely, and for the next 4 years, I hardly saw growth from a year to year. If you compare them, if you were to compare me from 2019 to 2022, it is a big difference, but it's almost like something you would expect somebody could do like in a year, right? And it was just so frustrating for me because I was on top of eating my meals, or so I thought. And I was always constantly going hard in the gym every single day. Like I always tried to raise the intensity as much as I could. I tried, putting on more weight, getting stronger, and I just felt like I wasn't making progress. And it wasn't until this past year when I started doing this blow up series. And for those of you who don't know, I'm going to be competing in my first bodybuilding show, in a men's physique show this summer at Summer Shredding in Houston. And that was something that I had committed to doing because I wanted to have the pressure of knowing I have to step on stage and using that to hold me accountable towards my goals, so I could really take it to the next level. And so what I started doing was I started tracking my macros, right? I started this series, the blow up series, and part of it was really for me to document my progress, see how much I've grown, see how much weight I can gain, that sort of thing, and push myself. And as I'm now getting close to the end of this series, I'm able to look back and see all the mistakes that I've been making, because a lot of these things that I've been doing for years now are becoming very apparent to me of what's been holding me back. And so the biggest mistake I made is that I just have not been eating enough, man. It's like I thought I was, I was the guy who always ate so much, and my whole family, it's like a joke. Like everybody knows that, how much I eat, and all my friends know, if I go out, I'm having like a big old meal, and it's like I thought that by eating, between 3,000 to 3,500 calories, that'd be enough for me to keep gaining weight consistently. The problem is that it's not. Right. I never took my bulk so serious to the point where I was tracking my macros on a daily basis and weighing myself every single day. I never treated it like that. I treated it more like, okay, I'm going to just eat a lot. Make sure I'm eating a lot of protein with every meal, and then we're good. The problem is that I did that for years and years and years. And the progress came very slowly and steadily, but I realized once I started tracking my macros and once I started counting my calories, that's when I saw a big change, like almost immediately. First of all, I realized I started off eating 3,900 calories, and that wasn't even enough for me to consistently gain weight. Another thing I realized is the lack of consistency. So I had to have this kind of perspective shift of like, okay, I have to treat this bulk as an ectomorph, how somebody who was maybe overweight would treat a cut. Right, it's like I wouldn't, like if somebody was overweight and asked me for advice, I would tell them, bro, you gotta track your calories, you gotta track your macros, you gotta weigh yourself every morning. Like that's what I would tell them, right? Be on top of it. Don't slip up. If you mess up one day, like that's gonna take progress away from the days that you already made more progress, right? It's like so if one day you overeat by 1,000, 2,000 calories, whatever deficit you had been saving up throughout the week, you just ruined it, right? And so I didn't have that same mentality for my bulk, right? And then once I kind of flipped that switch of like, no, that's how I need to treat it, because even if I eat 500 calories if I eat 500 calories over my maintenance calories, right? And I do that for a week, but then one day I'm short 2,500 calories because I didn't really feel like eating because I didn't have time or whatever. I just kind of cut out all the progress that I made throughout the week, right? Because my body's going to burn all that up. And so that was the mindset shift that I had to have that really just jump started my progress again. And that is my number one tip for anybody who's trying to grow, for anybody who's trying to accomplish some sort of fitness goal. You have to set a goal, break it down, right? So I'll give you guys an example, right? This is how I did it for myself. I set a goal. I said I want to reach 235 pounds by the end of this blow-up series, which at the time was about 7 weeks. I was at 225 at the time, so I needed to gain 10 pounds within 7 weeks. I broke that down to figure out how many pounds I have to gain every single week, which came out to like 1.4, something around there, like 1.3. And so then I said, okay, so every single week I have to gain 1.3 pounds. What I did was I started writing them down every single day. I wrote down February 15, February 16, February 17, February 18. I wrote down every single day, right? And then what I started doing was every single morning, I would weigh myself and I would write it on the whiteboard. This is my weight for today, right? If the next day my weight went down, which is away from what my goal is, I would write it in red, right? And if the next day my weight went up, which was closer to my goal, I would write it in green. And so what this did was it started holding me accountable. Every single morning I have to face that whiteboard, and I'm either going to get a green or I'm going to get a red. You know, it's like, and I want to see green. So I started doing that. And the only way to measure that, to make sure that I'm staying on top of my goals, is by tracking my food, tracking my macros, right? Doing that every single day, not slacking off on it, not skipping meals, none of that, man. Like, I have a certain goal right now, I'm eating 4,100 calories, and I'm really making sure I shoot over that. That's my minimum that I'm having in a day. So I have a minimum of 4,100 calories, like 220 grams of protein, something around there, something like 400 carbs or 500 carbs. Every day I make sure I have my macros. As long as I'm hitting my macros, my weight's going to hit every single week. That's the direct approach you need to take with this sort of thing. I know that if I would have started doing this 5 years ago, I'd have a completely different physique from what I have today, but I just never took it serious enough. I thought that, you know, it's good enough if I just eat as much as I can here and there, and, you know, on maybe days where I don't really feel like it, it's okay, because on other days I eat a lot. So it's like, it kept canceling out, you know, and that was a hard lesson that it took me way too long to learn. And, you know, everybody always told me I have to eat more, but I thought, like, oh, there's no way I have to eat that much. You know, who the fuck has to eat 4,000 calories a day? Like, that's ridiculous, right? And no, it turns out it's not ridiculous, and it's actually very realistic for somebody like me who burns this many calories. And I have a very active lifestyle because of my work, and I'm going to the gym, and I train for about 2 hours every day. So it is realistic, you know, and so you have to figure out what's best for you. I'm not saying 4,000 calories for everybody. You know, for me, that's what it was. And so you need to figure out how many calories you need to be hitting. You need to track that. You need to find a way to quantify it, right? So every single day you can track your weight, you can track your macros, and see the actual progress, right? Same thing with your workouts. Just, you know, you can do the same thing with your workouts. If you want to get stronger, it's like, okay, how much do I want to lift? Let me figure out a program so I can get there and stick to my program every single day, right? Because once you start slacking off on the program, you start canceling out the progress that you've already made, you know? So it's about having more of an aggressive mindset and a more tactical approach to what your goals are. I guess at the very core of this, it's about not becoming complacent over time, right? After, you know, when you first start working out, your first year, your first 2 years, you have all these newbie gains, you're growing really quickly, you're getting a lot stronger, your body's changing very quickly, and it's very easy to get used to that. And then afterwards, when it starts slowing down, all these kids want to hop on PEDs, they want to hop on steroids and all these kind of things, instead of just taking that extra step to really strategize and figure out how you can push your body to its natural limit, because you're not going to reach natural limit in the first 3, 4, 5 years of lifting. It takes a long time. Trust me, you can still grow a lot more than you think you can. But it's just a matter of getting dedicated to it, sticking to it, not getting complacent, and then when it comes time to put in that extra effort, you do it, right? And that was my mistake. I think I got too complacent, not with the results that I had, but with the amount of effort that I was putting in to get the results that I want, right? And so, this whole blow up series has been a process of just learning more about myself, really pushing myself to my limit, figuring out what are these things that are holding me back, and fighting against them, figuring them out, strategizing. And I have been learning a lot about myself, about my own mindset, and about my body by doing this series, which really, that was the whole reason I even decided to start this blow up series. So I just wanted to share with you guys my story, and I wanted to share with you guys that big mistake that I made throughout the years, and exactly how it is that I am now fixing that, and getting myself to keep pushing forward and make some more progress, even after working out for 8 years, so, because I'm in this for the long haul, man. I'm not in this for the short term. Like, I'm in this is a lifestyle, and I don't mind having to, you know what, man, one thing about me is I'm a very patient fucking person. I have a very long-term mindset. I think long-term, and so, you know what, man, a couple more years of grinding if that's what it takes. But I'm excited for all the growth that's been going on lately. I'm excited to see where we're going to take this. And I hope you guys were able to get something from this video, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. Make sure you go check out my other videos. I have a lot of really good ones on here. Whether you're looking for workout videos, whether you're looking for nutritional videos, whether you're looking for just like fun, hanging out at the gym type of content, all of that is right here on the channel. Appreciate y'all for watching. I'll catch y'all on the next one. More heart, more hustle.